Greetings, bloggers, vloggers, followers, and potters. Dustin here from Dustin's Dynasty, coming at you again this week with another edition of this week's vlog. Before we start today, I want to mention that this is World Suicide Prevention Week across the world. Today, in fact, in the United States, well, tomorrow, kind of today and tomorrow is World Suicide Prevention Day. And as such, I am wearing a shirt that our local task force here in our county sponsored to say it's not okay not to be okay. And that kind of leads to what I want to talk to you today. So, being happy, you know, being autistic, we oftentimes want to be alone or, want to not be socially engaged, or maybe the world is just too much for us. And as a result, we will often, um, you know, result in some isolation behavior. And that has been what I've been struggling with probably for a very long time. More so within the past year, I've gotten better at it, but the happiness is not always there. And that is the struggle. It's camouflaging, it's masking, getting through the social interactions. Sometimes it's not always, keen or a good, I can pass as being happy, but I have my moments where I become unhappy and unsatisfied and just don't want to do anything in the world, want to, isolate, um, not do things that are well enough for me or enjoyable. So, it's not a good thing. And, in fact, last night I was in one of those places because I had sort of, a little bit of a setback. And, as autistics, we have to learn that it's okay to have a setback once in a while, and that we have to learn and grow from them. I've had enough of them in the past 2 to 4 years that you're gonna have setbacks, you're gonna have issues. You're not Everything's not gonna go according to plan. And for me, I think that's a big thing too. That with happiness and is the change. And when we have changes in life, we're not always going to be happy about them. We're not always going to be, satisfied with the change, or, we're not going to think it's fair for us, or it should be the way it should be, or we would think it has to be the way it should be sometimes, and that can spiral itself into problems of insubordination, or causing further anger and aggression because you want to be like a little kid and not do things. And I've worked so hard as a child, not as a child, but as an adult. And now I'm 30, in my mid 30s, where we don't want to act like a little kid. We bottle that. I think what I do for myself, as far as what it doesn't make me happy, is, and it caught what is with change, is that I bottle that anger up. And as a result, when I'm bottling that anger up, it just grows and it's very intrusive, and it just won't go away without it being channeled or processed. And it's not like I haven't been told the skills that I've needed to know to be processed, or to get them out of my head. I just don't take initiative and do what is necessary. I'd rather sit and be miserable and just not fight. Um, I'd fight the fight and just continue to be in a flight mode, or just think of things to get myself out of something. And that's not healthy. I know it's not healthy, and it can really be bad if it goes untreated and not well. And I'm learning more and more about myself in this journey of self-discovery over the past 4 years. I'm learning the importance of having medicine again, and why it's important, and just missing one day and what that can do to you. If you miss one dose of medicine, how bad things can really be. And it's not because your brain is telling you that. It is because, and I hate to say about medicine because I know it's not for everyone, but for me it is a lifesaver. I've been on it for 2 decades. If you haven't been following my blogs, I've been having a lot of issues with it over the past 4 years, and I still do today. But it's when I relapse, I know that it's some of those things where it's harder to be happy, or it's harder to mask, or that I put all my effort in the masking, and then I'm so drained when I'm not when I'm free not to have to put on that happy face or that smiley face for others. And it's a challenge. It really, really is a challenge. but I am tempted to fight better and be better and be there for others that are there for me. And that seems to be helping. I've taken through the weekend. Weekend was a little rough last weekend, but we got through it. And as the week going on, it did get a little challenging, but I think we know the primary reason is the medicine, and again, that's whatever person wants to believe, but it does help in some instances for the time being of keeping my mood in a good, healthy mood, whether it not be totally, happy, joy, sunshine, rainbow, but it just keeps it, docile and very alert and very stable. And I think that's the thing that really matters. It's not about reacting negatively to somebody's reaction or a change, that it makes the change. When we're unable to care for our change, to accept change, and I've seen this in many people, when you that are autistic and not neurotypical, is change can be hard to accept because it was changing the way we think about things, changing the way we learn about behavior. It's changing, it's just an overall change that sometimes it's hard, and it's a part of life. And I think sometimes in the reality of things, when I'm outside of my safe space or outside of being with my close contacts, I feel that I'm able I am able to uh condone that change and be be okay with it. But when I get into my private world and the people who know me close and the people who accept me for speaking my mind, I think that's where it sets the tone and it makes it very angry because I probably bottle it all up and I don't express it in a way that it needs to be expressed properly or appropriately. And that is where the struggle comes within, is that I have it so bottled up and it's so angry and I'm unhappy. And so as part of being unhappy, I take it out on a somebody who I can call, or somebody who I know will sympathize, who I think will sympathize with me. But in reality, they may not. They may know me better than I know myself. And then as a result, because they know me better than I know myself, it causes more reaction and makes me more angry and just enrages the train of thought, makes it worse, makes it hard to grow, those sort of things. And it's just a difficult world that we live in. It's very challenging. When we go out into the world beyond what is safe for us as autistic people, it can be a challenge for us to get out there and know what's and when something doesn't happen the way we want to, it often makes us very angry because we don't have control of it, and our thoughts can sometimes be skewed from it, and that's what makes it so difficult. We think the worst, I do anyway. I think the worst possible thing that's going to happen. It could be something as simple as closing a parking lot off the people because for somebody's personal reasons or somebody's reason because they have the right to do so, and because it may be the right to do so, that doesn't that doesn't mean it doesn't give me the reason to demand a change. It doesn't give me the reason to say it has to be that way. That is not my place. Things we have to realize that we have to scope within our own means and scope with only with what we can handle and scope with only what we as a person, as an autistic person, can control. If we can't control things such as this parking lot issue that I had this week, then we have to know that, we can't obsess over it. We can't make it bad. It took me a long time to get out of that mindset. It took me almost 12 hours to get out of that mindset. And, I realized maybe I did some things wrong in the process. Maybe I didn't do the right things. Maybe, it took until I had to reach a therapist. It wasn't even, it was just a bad thing. And even today, I still went back on social media and looked at it. But, it's just, I think change is hard for anybody, but making other people miserable is not the right thing to do. You have to be happy for yourself. Yes, you have the right to be angry. You have the right to express your feelings how you want, but you cannot take it out on other people. And being miserable and being unhappy only makes the ball rolling, and it only gets the enraging fire that is within your inferno further bouncing and further kicking the can of your anger and your unhappiness, and you wanting to be sad and just and isolate. So all those things start from not being happy. Now, I'm not saying every day in this world is going to be perfect. I'm not saying everything's going to go according to plan, because we're never guaranteed what is that our day is going to go according to plan. We have to come prepared with whatever circumstance may be, what may be coming as a result of, not whatever circumstance that may come as a result of not being able to do something. That may mean take a sensory bag, or that may mean take extra device, or extra batteries, or an extra charger. It's like a Boy Scout. Well, we can't say Boy Scout anymore, but we can say Scout's motto: be prepared. That's what it is. It's an honor, and everybody follows it. And if that's what you have to do now, as it is 2022, and the world is never set to go to according to plan. We know that we're 2 years in the COVID pandemic, and the world is never going to go to plan. As a result, autistic people have suffered greatly, as a result of the COVID pandemic. And even if we're getting into the world, we don't know what's going to be thrown in our hands at any day. We don't know if anything's going to be shut down. We have money for upgrades, so these changes are going to happen. And if we're not prepared for them, it's just going to make it worse on us. And therefore, it's going to make us very unhappy. And the cycle of anger, isolation, rumination, it all begins. So that's just, what we have to think about in life. We have to think, how can rumination, how can things not get so to that point where it's anger and hatred and not being happy? Because everybody deserves to be happy. Everybody does, including me. And sometimes it's hard to find that happiness. I'm starting to see it. I'm starting to get connections out there in the world. I'm starting to, see that people value me for who I am, and know that I'm a valued person. I'm a valued employee. I'm a valued member. I'm a valued constituent. I'm a valued facilitator. I'm a valued committee member. I'm all these valued roles in my life, but sometimes it's hard to see them and just be so damn happy in life that it's so hard. And because of something as simple as a change or something we don't like, those things just spiral, and they don't and are hard to stop ruminating. It's hard to stop bringing out of control. And it's just very hard. And I know I'm moving my hands. I like to stem, and I hope that the autistic community is accepting of that. So, but it's those things. It's those things in life that make it so hard for us to get out of control, and hard for us not to see and understand. Um, it's just what it is. So I hope you learned something from my little rant about change and happiness, because that's really what the vlog I want it to be about. Because I've been experiencing, I need to experience happiness. I need to get through the weekend. I need to get through the next week, and in the next week, and so on and so forth. Yes, the world is one giant mess. We'll admit it. But and sometimes things don't happen the way we want them to happen. They don't Things don't happen from one day to the next that are guaranteed what we want. You know, the fountain at the gas station may be out of a certain kind of soda. McDonald's may close because of a COVID sickness. All of these things happen for a reason, and it's not guaranteed. The world's getting short staffed. There's a lot of issues with the world, and we have to learn as autistic people to be graceful and understand them and not let them spiral out of control. So that's just a little bit of my experience this week with change and happiness. And I think I needed that as a kick booster to share with my community on my YouTube channel, and we'll simulcast this over to the blog side, the podcast side of things on the platforms. You can watch the video cast on Spotify. I'm on several podcasting platforms. I'm looking to add more. I did see there was more options on the podcasting platform, so I'm going to be looking to add more. And when I do that, I will post that to my Facebook and Facebook and Twitter, so you guys can access them through the Anchor app. And I hope that was well. If you haven't already, please be sure to like this video. Be sure to Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to hear more videos, we generally do them on the weekends because I do work during the week. I have a part-time job and I go to a day program. So tap that notification bell when I put a video online, we'll definitely share it. It'll come right on your notifications in YouTube. Um, be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dustin's Dynasty. On the web at dustinsdynastyusa.com, and on Pinterest and TikTok at Dustin's Dynasty ASD. I want to thank you for listening and be sure to have a good weekend. And if you need help, please dial that number right there, that 988 number right up there on the screen. If you need to connect to a suicide and crisis lifeline in the United States, I believe if you visit 988lifeline.org, you can get connected to, if you're in another country viewing this. So, it's World Suicide Prevention Day and week. If you're watching, we're supporting that. I will include the link to the store through my this video and on my channel. So, all right. I thank you for listening and be sure to have a good weekend now. Bye now. Take care and stay safe.